See, when it comes to being a better rider, your nervous system speaks before your aids. Just think about that for a moment. If we take the horse out of this altogether, and you've maybe had a really good start to your day, you get in your car and you're straight into traffic, unexpected accident, you're now delayed an hour, 2 hours for your next appointment. When you get to the next appointment, those people are maybe a little bit annoyed with you, which you can feel. You can feel the stress, the anxiety, the frustration building up in you. All of these sequence of events were nothing to do with you personally. They just happened, but they've impacted your day. They've impacted your start of the day, which when you felt great, to shifting how you're feeling, to maybe being more anxious, more agitated. If we then bring the horse in and we do nothing about changing that state, we just bring that straight into working with our horses, no matter what aid you do, or no matter if you tell your instructor or someone else on the yard says, "Hey Becky, how you doing?" And you're like, "I'm fine." Does that voice say I'm fine? Or does that voice appear a little bit annoyed compared to someone saying, "Hey Becky, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm great, thanks." Can you feel the difference just in the state? In my nervous system affects my body language, it affects my aids for the horse. See, our horses read our body language, our breath, if we're holding tension, anything underlying in our subconscious. These amazing, highly sensitive beings can read it like it's, as easy as us drinking water, like it's second nature to them. And sometimes we forget it. Sometimes as riders, and especially if you're watching this today and knowing how to become a better rider or how to be better with horses, start with your state. Show their pain, their expression through their behavior. Now, when you learn to read and understand your state, you can understand and learn the horse's state a lot easier because it's more natural, okay? I see this time and time again. Even an example of, say, someone who's never seen or had, even better, experienced some form of bodywork, whether it's a massage, osteo, chiro, trying to explain what that does to the system to someone who's never experienced it and felt it, it's a lot harder, okay? The person finds it really hard to resonate. And this is the same thing when it comes to horses and understanding a horse's state. A lot of us go for the strategy. What is the strategy I need to be doing to make this horse calm down? Why does he keep spooking in the corner? Why does he feel so stiff? We always go for the new strategy, spend money, time on the strategy, without addressing the elephant in the room, which is our state. How are we today? What is going on in our mind, in our body? How was the build-up to this interaction with our horse? I'll tell you a bit of a story for myself where I've seen this across multiple disciplines. So you can see a common theme, thread, no matter which discipline you're in. So the show jumpers will say, this is what works, this is what doesn't work. The dressage will say, this is what works, this is what doesn't work. The same, and you get it, right? In every single industry, everyone will, based on their experience and tools and knowledge, say what they feel works and what doesn't work. The common denominator in all of these disciplines across the world, no matter the culture, the environment, is the horse. And the horse, if you think this video is solely about horses, it's not. See, most people think being good with horses, being a better rider, is all about new strategies, new techniques, maybe new training methods, a new saddle, a new fancy shiny tool that's come out on the market. But after working with horses for more than 30 years of my life, like most of my life, all around the world, from Olympic level show jumpers, flat racing horses, to your happy hackers, I've learned this. Being good with horses comes down to just 3 things. If something feels off with your horse, you just can't quite explain the why, this video is for you. You see, you might not be doing anything wrong, or you probably might not be doing the right thing. You might be doing the right thing at the wrong time. And this really matters. Think about this. If you're going to plant something to make it grow to eat, you're not going to plant it in the depths of winter. You're going to protect it. And this is the same thing. You could be trying to improve an area of your riding. Maybe it's something on the ground with your horse. Maybe they've had an incident with the vet and you're trying to understand if they're in pain or not. You might be trying to do all the right things just at the wrong time, at the wrong season. Every single interaction with your horse is shaped by your state, your story, and then the strategy in that order. I was asked to treat a horse down in the west of the UK, and this horse had had over £10,000 spent on vet bills, okay? Still inconclusive. Could you imagine spending £10,000, you've maxed out your vet, your insurance, and now your horse, which is the thing that you've been wanting to improve, help, the guilt that's overcome you, the endless sleepless nights of worrying, going on Google, on Facebook groups, we've all been there, to still have a horse that you can't ride because of the tension. This is what I was called to come and assess, come and treat. Listening to the full history, in this arena, I had myself, obviously, the horse, the rider, the rider's partner, the saddle fitter, another physio. Everyone's saying, Nika, we've tried everything now. Where do we go from here? To say that I felt the pressure, right? Kind of an understatement. But in the arena, I said, okay, I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to ask the rider to come to the center, drop her reins, place her hands on her thighs, close her eyes, and do what I call, it's like a box breath exercise, some type of breathing exercise if that doesn't resonate with you. But my goal was to change her state, okay? Change her nervous system state. That was my only goal. Within 3 minutes, I asked her to open her eyes, walk forward, gather the reins. I said nothing. She walked around, trotted the horse around. She came towards me, dropped the reins, tears streaming down her face. I cannot believe the difference in this horse. She said, for the first time in over 10 years, I can feel my horse's diaphragm underneath my seat, my legs. I can feel her inhale and exhale. And she said, I'm just so happy. Now, what happened here? I didn't do a new strategy. I didn't do a new technique in terms of adding more pressure. I actually slowed everything down, observed, and recognized that the pattern between the rider, I felt her frustration, okay? This is no judgment on this rider. This rider had spent thousands of pounds to still have an inconclusive result and diagnosis for a horse. I felt it. I felt her pain, frustration, and I felt the guilt around that as well. As horse owners, we want to do everything for our horses, right? We want them to be the best they can with the resources and tools that we have. By applying a simple practice to changing the state, in only 3 minutes, this mare completely changed. Now, I'm not saying that was the magic to absolutely everything, but it was the start, and it was the first time in 10 years that this rider felt her horse actually breathe. Your state, think of it like this. Your state is the conversation you've always been having with your horse, whether you realize it or not. So whether you're consciously aware of this or not, our state, your state, my state is in constant communication with whichever horse I'm working with. Let's move on to the story. This is the second part of this section of this episode. Side note, if you haven't already, don't forget to give me a follow and subscribe, and any questions you have, just comment below. I also have a school group community. If you type into the school group, the Female Rider Code, and I'll see you in there for some more support. When I talk about the story, right, horses don't live in a narrative, but guess who does? We do, okay? A lot of us allow whatever happened to us in our life shape, determine, dictate how we behave, what we think on a daily basis. And for many of us, we overlook how important our thoughts are when it comes to our behaviors and patterns and habits. I think I read, it was a research article on how many thoughts an average person has in a day. I think it's like 165,000. Imagine that. And then imagine having the same recurring thoughts that are happening, what pattern that's doing to your brain, and then your belief in yourself, etc. Now, when we have labels, things like lazy, naughty, sharp, he's dangerous, she's girthy, oh, he's always been like that, God, she's just grumpy, she's hormonal. Past experiences shape how we show up today. And I see this a lot, especially with someone, for example, if we go back to that story I just told you, in the beginning with the history taking and understanding of the horse, I was told she's always been this way. I've owned her since 3, she's now 13. In these 10 years, she's always done that. She's sharp some days, she's flat another day. She's stiff and she's tight, constantly labeling, which I get, right? As riders, we need language to communicate. So it's, again, not the rider's fault. However, as humans compared to our four-legged friends, horses, we live in that narrative. We believe that narrative as opposed to saying, well, she feels stiff. Is it true? Is it our perception of stiff, or is it true? It's perception. My perception will be different to your perception. And if we don't recognize that subtle shift, we can be influencing what we are doing with our horses on a daily basis. So a horse whose behavior only made sense once doesn't have to become the entire story of how you explain this horse to be every single day. You know this, but fixing through force, more pressure, more correction often leads to like a negative downward spiral of the story, which then creates a stronger narrative in our minds, which in a real sharp, short nutshell only creates more disconnection between what we're trying to achieve, which is better communication, a partnership, an effortless form of communication between us and our horses. So remember that the horse isn't responding to what happened last year. You might be. They live in the present. They are hardwired that way for survival. If they're living in herds and they're constantly thinking about what happened yesterday, they are slower in their reaction time. They are raising their cortisol. They are wasting mental energy, and they'll probably get eaten a lot quicker. They'll be weaker in the chain. So the most important thing for the horse and any prey animal is to be present, be heightened in their body so that they can understand the environment, the stimulus to what is going on. And this is why these prey species are so incredible and live so much in their body. I don't know about you, but this is the biggest thing I find when working with horses is this constant gift and teaching they tell us, which is usually to get out of our heads, get into our bodies, and to be more present. So we've got state, we've got story. The third section is the strategy. And this is the end part, but most equestrians that I see, including myself, we start with a strategy. We start with, okay, this isn't working. I want a new strategy. We might try it for a week, it's not working. A new one, a new one, a new one. You get the point, right? The strategy only works after your state and your story. And the most important thing is your state. If anything, it's your state. For example, working with that mare, let's focus on this mare story that I was telling you. They had the new saddle, thousands on saddle, like £4,000. They had the new bridle, the new bit. They had everything that you can think of from a tack perspective. They looked at feed, supplements. Nothing worked. All this time spent on money and on techniques and external ideas to try and sort and support an internal issue was never spoken about. I don't know what this is about us humans. We overcomplicate things, right? I don't know about you, but I will overcomplicate things. If I'm working through a problem, it can be so simple. So someone else, as an observer, might come in and say, well, it's just this. And I'm like, well, is it that easy? Like, why am I not making it harder? And then again, I need to stop myself and say, Nika, what is your story behind figuring out problems? Why do you make it difficult for yourself? Can you see how that story is so powerful? Changing my story then changes my response. Then that would make that whole experience less of an issue, less of a problem in my mind. Usually the strategy isn't wrong, it's just not first. So state, story, strategy, okay? Think of it as the 3 S's if you want to remember something super simple. I have a countless amount of experiences and examples of riders working on their state first, which then changes how they are immediately. And this is the beauty about it. You can change your state immediately. Think about when you listen to a song. It can take you, if you have a story behind it, to a place of grief, to a place of feeling quite emotional. I know myself, that happens quite a lot. Or I can change the story to something that makes me feel genuinely happy. This is the beautiful thing about state, is it is very simple to do and achieve. All we have to do is remember it, okay? Changing your state is the most important thing. If you haven't already looked at what I do, I offer a program called the Horse Listener, which takes confused, overwhelmed riders into confidence and clarity. This inner confidence that I know you have that has just got confused with the amount of information. We're living in an information overload society. To some degree, it's incredible. You can find anything now as you're watching this on YouTube. AI, it's amazing. What it is doing for a lot of us is it making us more distracted so that we don't have any consistency in what is working and what is not working. In the Horse Listener, I provide you with a step-by-step framework to take the struggles you're having with your horse, no matter what they are, and yourself, into a partnership that is unbreakable because you have a disciplined form of communication that you and your horse understand. And to me, that is the power and nothing better than having a horse, because no one-size-all riding strategy is going to work for every single horse. The Horse Listener framework is adaptable to what you and your horse need. If you want to find out more information, comment below, send me a message, or just visit my website, Nika Voster, the Horse Listener, and sign up for the next enrollment.